Namaskar viewers, welcome to Sattology, and today is a very special occasion where we are discussing about Manan Tatmula, which is our candidate for Virginia 11. She is a Hindu activist, Hindu community leader in USA, and is a amazing speaker. So when we're introducing you to you because you are a very devotional community living in the USA, and she is going to highlight issues of Hindu Americans in the US Congress. So please hear her out and participate. Welcome, Mangaji.
Namaskar. Thank you, Aditya ji, for having me on your show.
Yes.
I'm very delighted to connect with the viewers. Thank you.
So here we call her lovingly Mangaji, and you all can call her the same way. And so first of all, Mangaji, it's more of a discussion than an interview. And you are a Hindu community leader and in North America. So what are the issues that you see plaguing Hindu American community which you can resolve while you're in the office in the US House of Representatives?
Just to give you a little background about my observations and where I come from my Hindu activist space into realizing how important for American Hindus to get involved in US politics. 3 years ago, I realized there's a lot of things that needs to be done for our Hindu community within US, and I accidentally bumped into the USCIRF, which is United States Commission for International Religious Freedom. That's the USCIRF. Uh, their annual report. So I was just simply, I don't know how I even got hold of it. And when I was just reviewing just the summaries of each category and each country, of what they're trying to resolve and what the issues are in the religious arena that US is trying to get involved. It was a bit surprising to me. Religious freedom is the First Amendment in this country. We all believe in our religious freedom and we exercise and everything. But just going to temples and being able to go to temples and congregate, that's just not one single part of religious freedom that we have in this country. But there are so many other components that go with it. It was alarming that our Hindus are being categorized as extremists, nationalists, and terror driven agendas by Hindus against minorities in India. I think it's the other way around. If you're a Hindu, you already know, if you're coming from India, you already know that it's not true. Because we Hindus have no rights in India. We are the most oppressed. Maybe it has changed recently because people have realized how their daughters are being grabbed from their homes and forcefully being converted to Islam in some of the places. And yet we as community have no voice. And if the whole community is coming forward to protect that girl, they get killed. Their family members get murdered brutally, and which is never reported. So I started forwarding these reports of Muslim brutality towards Hindus and all of that. Tried to contact this agency and never have had any reply from them. And I continue to fight. And it's always a fight from outside, which all your cries and protests are trying to reason with why we are not extremists. We shouldn't be labeled as extremists. Everything fallen deaf ear. So I realized, there's no point trying to scream and yell from outside. We need to have our own arms grown into the US political system. More I got into it, more I have a very strong courage of conviction and realization that we have to get into US politics to create our own voice, to create our own um, arm, may I say, to give them the facts. Any facts that's coming from outside is not. We are not a unified group of people. We don't have a representation in US Congress or in the Senate level. But luckily now with this new administration, we have some hope. That's the hope I'm trying to move forward. And I also sympathize with Christians in this country because when I first came to this country, there's always a very I mean often used lingo. Oh, geez, oh Jesus, no longer that's being used because they are being uh, attacked for just being so racist. I mean, calling Jesus is a racist. So tomorrow I'm going to say Ram. I'm going to be a racist and an extremist too. It's just not our Hindus. I even sympathize with Christians in this country. Coming from India, being a Hindu, the way we are so oppressed, I feel the same oppression he's having now. Anybody other than to do with Muslims are wrong. Anybody to do with other than Muslims cannot be right. That's the attitude we are having, being nurtured in the Congress these days. So when are we, if not now, when are we going to voice our opinion? I mean, this is the whole reason why for the first time I realized we need to have our own. So in 2016, um, I got this vision. No, we cannot be tied to a party line because we are not Democrats and we are not Republicans. Then what are we? I started
Like we
thinking,
say, we are neither left nor right. We are dharmic. So
right,
I
you
think
get it.
dharma stands for truth and justice. And what I can hear in your voice is a conviction which will appeal to many Hindu Americans for truth and justice. And that conviction is really good. So, what would you like to advise to our large Hindu American community? Because we are all practicing Hindus, and sometimes Hindus become even more dharmic in USA because they miss India. So, and there is a view that politics is bad, and this is how we train our children that stay out of politics, just focus on your career. Now, what is the advice would you like to give to this large diaspora that they should use, taking inspiration from you?
The first thing I would call on our people to start realizing is to make sure where they align with in their values. Okay, we are definitely not those Democrats who are always leaning one way or the other. Our Hindu values teach us to be more neutral, more accepting. That's our dharma, being neutral, being accepting. But that doesn't mean our dharma is asking us to go through a genocide.
Correct.
You know, none of our scriptures say somebody is trying to massacre you and you sit there and let your head cut off or your hand chopped off or you get slapped on your face. No, I mean, self-defense is always taught in our dharma. And
Right.
what is self-defense? We don't have to be aggressive. We don't have to be killing each other. We can definitely voice our opinions stronger and with facts. I mean, we just to make ourselves heard, we don't have to be lying. We don't have to be aggressive. We need to state our facts. We need to be able to stand together, united, to be able to say, we are Hindus, we are conservatives. We are not aligned with democratic values. We are not aligned all the time with Republican values. We are conservatives.
Absolutely.
Our
That's a
values are
wonderful.
more important than any other that we think that we try to rationalize.
So for the viewers, I'm not a very professional interviewer, but we are more of Hindu community leaders. Now, for the viewers, I would like to say she's coming from Virginia 11, Fairfax County. And my request to all of you is come behind her, especially the Hindu American community. And also Chinese Buddhists, Japanese Buddhists, and also Korean Buddhist people come behind her because she represents us. She represents Dharma, whether you call it Sanatan Dharma or Dharma, but Dharma is always one. Now, for this, and as a in terms of Hindu community leadership, what is the thing that you are trying to, especially for the residents of Virginia 11, what is that you're offering to this Hindu American community, which they can feel inspired for you to raise funds for you and to work with you?
There are two things that we need to start focusing on in Virginia 11. Um, our taxes are definitely the first priority. Where are our tax dollars going? Um, the taxes are going sky high. Our real estate taxes are going sky high. And where are they being used? My take on the standard of life in Virginia after I moved to North Carolina for a brief few years and coming back, I've realized that the quality of life has gone down. So my question to Virginia 11 folks is, where have my dollars being used if my quality of life has gone down?
Yeah.
And it's also becoming a place where more illegal immigrants are given home. Um, are we going to go that route where there will not be any law and order? We need to protect our children. They should be able to enjoy out, outdoor life like we all did, and my son played outside. That's very important. And there are absolutely no value based education in schools,
Mhm.
or the curriculum is not the way they have to be structured. What are we focusing on? Yeah, we have wonderful schools for uh, sciences and technology and engineering, but is that what every kid is interested and want? Why focus just on the science, and what about the children who need enrichment? So what are we offering those children, those that have special talents in arts? Are we having any programs for those children? So in trying to make equality, I mean, in this entire blanket of equality, what they're trying to do is um, create admission quotas in colleges when they go to colleges, and that's not right. Not everybody is into sciences, so they may not be focusing on sciences, but that's not fair trying to push somebody behind who has already done very well in science and technologies. Good, let them do it, but then also focus on other children, where we need to start focusing on their curriculum, where you are creating an environment the same as what you're giving for science and technology students.
Yeah. Excellent, and we really wish you. We'll have this is the just first series with Mangaji, and we will take her more guidance from her on the spiritual side of the Hindu community, and also on helping all of us connect with her more, especially in Virginia 11, where she's resident of. And I'll sign off here. All of you, thank you all very much for this Sunday morning, and we'll see her shortly on our YouTube channels. Thank you.
Thank you.